The Omen trilogy is one of my most favorite horror movie franchises that ever come out of horror. But there's a problem. The problem is this movie called Omen 4 The Awakening. And I want to talk about it right here on Horror and Coffee. Ready? Here we go. If you like what you see here, please tap on that bell for future notifications and consider subscribing. Okay? And give me a like, because those likes I like. Here's the deal. We all know about The Omen. We all know about Damien Omen 2. Came out in 1978. And then The Final Conflict came out like around 1980, 81-ish, somewhere around there. And we thought that was it, right? At the end of, Omen 3, The Final Conflict, it seemed wrapped. That seemed like that was a wrap. And I first got introduced to these stories by reading the novels. You see, I still have the original book I bought when I was in high school. It's all messed up. The paper's yellow and it's crinkly and all that. And then I saw the movie, and like most things in this kind of thing, the book is always better, and it was. But that doesn't mean the movie wasn't good. It was good. That's why it's a classic to this day. Then Damien Omen 2 came out, and just like that one, I have this one all like wrinkled up and messed up too. Pages are wrinkly. The edges are brown. I've kept it to this day. And then the same thing with The Final Conflict, Omen 3. I have it right here. It's the introduction right there, and it's also wrinkly and yellow. I bought these in the mid-'80s at this sci-fi horror novelty store downtown called Forbidden Planet, which is still here to this day, funny enough, and it's done me good. Then one day when I was in Forbidden Planet, I couldn't believe my eyes. This was like in 1984. I came across this book, Omen 4, Armageddon 2000, and I absolutely loved the story, and I was waiting for them to make a movie out of this. In 1991, 92-ish, all of a sudden I was at home watching TV, and on Channel 5, on Fox 5, they said they're going to put out Omen 4. It was going to just be right on TV for people to watch. And it blew my mind. I was like, oh my God, we finally got to see how this is. And then I saw Omen 4, The Awakening, made-for-TV movie, a direct sequel to The Final Conflict. I watched it. I tell you, people, it was one of the saddest nights of my life. I couldn't believe the crap that was in this film. So here's what I decided to do. I've complained about this many times in the future, and in throughout Horror and Coffee, and in Levels of Geeks. So I'm going to. I did some digging, and I'm going to give you guys right here on Horror and Coffee, and we haven't done this in a long time, but this movie, Omen 4: The Awakening, deserves Horror and Coffee's list of flaws. Yeah, we've done this before in the past, but it's been a long time since we've done this. Last one we did was Texas Chainsaw Massacre. The last one that came out in the theaters a few years ago. I'll put the link up here so you can check out that review. It's very old though. Reasons why the Omen 4 sucked. I'm going to give you a list of 11 reasons. I didn't want to do even numbers and come up with 10 because this is how bad it was. It wasn't just 10 reasons. I got 11 here, and we're going to go over them right now. Number 1, straight up, it's a different version of the novel. And you know how they say, like I said earlier, about how the books are always better? Well, that's definitely the case here. This book is better, much better. I can't believe they changed it completely. It's nothing about this story. This story holds more substance. This story is more consistent with the flow of the first 3 books. If we want to keep them within the sync of the books, but what that piece of garbage, that piece of crap that they put out in the theater, in the TV, then got no one. I think they knew it was going to be horrible. I think they did, because If they would have put that in the movie theater, I wouldn't have known what would have happened. And how much did you make off of this movie? I don't know, $20? It's that bad. It's not consistent with the flow of the original 3 films, the original 3 stories. There's no consistency, okay? Damien is mentioned like just once, and that's towards the end of that movie. Okay, I was waiting for where's the connect here? Where's the connect? And then they just mentioned really. I was like, are you effing kidding me? Number 2. Well, actually, this is the same thing. It's a made-for-TV movie. That's usually a red light that turns on. If you know that a movie that is definitely linked to a huge franchise that is big in theaters, all of a sudden they make another one just for the TV, you know right there there's a problem right from the start, that this movie was absolutely horrible, and it's 2 hours I'm not gonna ever get back. You know what? I think I mentioned, this is how bad this movie is. I think I mentioned about 3 and 2 reasons why this movie sucks. Okay, so I guess my list is gonna go down a little bit from 11 to like maybe 10 or 9, but let's keep going. In this movie, the girl who we thought was initially gonna be the new Antichrist, I was like, okay, it's gonna be a woman. Okay, I could roll with that if you give me a good story. But they didn't give me a good story. What they gave me was a little girl who knew who she was from birth. In the original 3 films, Damien didn't know who he was until the second film, and he didn't take it so well. And that added to the drama and to the narrative of this epic horror franchise called The Omen. This girl, she was already in the game before anybody could realize she was in anything. And it took away that real human element that the characters that played Damien Thorne in the first 3 films had. She was bad. She was really bad. And this is my next thing. And I lost count. That's how bad this is. My next flaw in this whole thing is the stupid tropes connected to this film. Not only did the girl know who she was, she had no problem hiding that crap. Okay, the so-called Jehovah Witness scene. You know how Jehovah Witnesses go to your door and knock on your door and present a magazine and want to like tell you about God and everything, right? We all been through that, right? In this scene, she goes to open the door, and there are these 2 little ladies that, I think it were ladies that they, oh, hi little girl, here, can we give this to your mother? You know, and it's one of those magazines, like Awake magazines, which wasn't, if they were really looking to the theology here, had a cross on it, right? Like a Christian symbol, a cross. But Jehovah's Witnesses don't believe that Jesus died on a cross. So it was kind of like, what is that? These are not Jehovah. Who is it? Who are you people? Just regular Christians? All right, fine. Let's go with that. Let's say it is. Doesn't matter. She takes the magazine from their hands and right in front of them rips it in such hatred. Like she got just pissed off, like it was the wrong coloring book or something. It was like ridiculous. And the girls and the women are like, oh, and I'm like, that is some stupid crap. Yo, I was pissed. I was like, this is ridiculous. That's what I meant by a trope. She's like this evil little girl from birth. I'm gonna mess up everybody's lives, right? And they're trying to figure out who she is and who she was adopted from, and this thing about a nun, and then here's another thing. Here's another flaw. Ready for this flaw? The girl's origin. Apparently there was a lady with that you know those Christian tents, those little ministry tents where they show off them handling poisonous snakes to show that they can't get bit because they've been given this gift by God and whatnot, you know. In this movie, that kind of happens here too, and to be honest with you, I kind of actually, this is how bad this is, I kind of actually forgot the point. I think that was the real mother, and then she went and got taken care of by nuns. I don't know. It was stupid. Why put that in there? Had nothing to do with the prophecies. They don't mention the prophecies. They don't mention the book of Revelation. They don't mention, it's like this thing is like completely out of the loop. Okay, anything, they didn't mention God, like, hey, Jesus came back. Oh yeah, that's the next flaw. What happened to Jesus? He returned in the end of the final conflict. I really don't get it. It was just bad. And so it's like Jesus, no Jesus. No, like, what did he go back? Did he just return and went, oh, screw this, and went back? Well, how does this work? It doesn't. It doesn't play into the plot at all. Here's another weird reason why I do not like this movie. Here's another flaw. The 666 on the baby. Okay, for those of you who haven't seen it, let me try to make this very elementary because I'm still trying to deal with it. The girl apparently was born with her twin brother still growing inside her. And when she came of age when she actually was she was younger. Now that I remember, she started, having periods and stuff like that at a very early age, and they were trying to figure out what it was. The mother, the adoptive mother, was the main person who was trying to get to the bottom of all these reasons why people were dying around her or whatever. And what happened was she apparently ended up getting a operation behind the parents' back, where they removed the tiny embryo that was inside her. The girl wasn't the mother. The girl was the sister of this little embryo. She was just carrying him. It was kind of some weird medical condition. I don't know. And they planted the embryo in the mother, right? And then, you see how I have to explain this crap? This is bad. Why do I have to explain this crap? It was just horrible. When the baby was like infant size, the mother found a 666 really big on his hand. Now, one of the things about the Antichrist is that he's supposed to, like Damien, it was hiding under the hair. Robert Thorne didn't even know it. Damien himself didn't know it until he found out who he was. Nobody noticed. How are you going to hide that hand? What's he going to do? Wear a Michael Jackson glove for the rest of his life until his time has come? Apparently, the girl wasn't the Antichrist. The little baby boy was. Okay? But now, they got people. Oh, I can't. I hate making this video. Here's another one. Where are the daggers? There's no mention of the daggers. There's no mention of Bugenhagen. There's no mention of the daggers that can be used to kill the Antichrist. You know who was going to kill the Antichrist? The baby. The mother. And then all of a sudden, the powers made her turn the gun on herself, and she blew her own head off. I'm sorry, did I spoil something for you? Do you think this is worth not spoiling anything because you want to see it? I'm trying to save you from wasting the 2 years, 2 hours, felt like 2 years, 2 hours of my life that I lost watching this. I say that with a tear in my eye. No daggers. No 7 daggers of Megiddo. By the way, I'm still looking for those collectibles. The deaths were stupid. Everybody who died in this movie died a stupid death. It was like a kind of like a Final Destination Part 20 that has ceased to be scary and has now become actually funny. This guy, and I've seen this actor before. He's been in better films than this. I don't know what the hell he was thinking, but he gets hit with a construction balls, like those wrecking balls, and as it's heading towards him, he's like, it was bad. And I was like, what? Get out of the way. No, he's just standing there. If you all thought those were bad, to make this movie absolutely indefinitely suck, check this out. See what I mean? Like what? The Antichrist has a band now? I love this part when one of them, as he was singing, took a cross and he went like this. Put it upside down. He was like, something, Satani. I was like, are you trying to scare? It didn't work. I laughed. It was funny. It was stupid. It didn't fit anything. It was the biggest trope, if you want to call it that. I'm like, where do these zombie-looking ghosts come from singing to this guy? Like, they're singing to the original Ave Satani song from the first film. I don't know how they got the hands on. I guess it's Fox, because it's all Fox. They got the hands on the original soundtrack and just went with that. It didn't deserve that. The soundtrack didn't deserve to be mistreated like that. That soundtrack is one of the best horror soundtracks ever, and these idiots put it in this film. Yo, I'm sweating. I'm sweating here. That's how bad it is. You want more? I don't think there's more. I mean, it just here's the latest flaw, right? I got one more flaw for you if those weren't enough for you. My biggest flaw about Omen 4 The Awakening is that it was just made to begin with. That's how bad it is, okay? Say that. Seriously. Don't, but if you want to waste a couple of years or an hour and a half, I don't know how long this, I was watching it on TV, there were commercials. What do you want from me? If you want to waste a couple of hours of your life at the most, watch this film. Go ahead. Knock yourself out, but you either better get yourself seriously drunk or fall asleep within the first 5 minutes so you can just at least get a good night's rest, because that shit sucked. Horrible. How dare you? Why couldn't you guys in Fox make this one? Had you made this one and put it in theaters, I tell you $1.25 that it would have been more successful. It would have made like a lot at the box office. But no, you want to get there. Let's do a TV movie about a little girl who has a little boy in her belly. And then they got singing zombies and and crazy women with snakes and little girl tearing up and hating anything that's imaging of God or whatever, and forget the Bible, forget the daggers, forget the Bugenhagens, forget even the second coming, because apparently either he got lost or what. Am I done beefing? Let me stop beefing. Oh, I'm sorry. You want to know how many coffee cups I give this? I give this no coffee cups. This doesn't deserve a drop of coffee. All it deserves is a donut. I am so glad that you've allowed me this opportunity to finally vent almost 30 years of frustration that's been pent up inside me regarding one of the most horrible horror films ever made of a franchise that is otherwise awesome. You see, I stop with The Omen. I stop at part 3, film-wise. There's a 5th book called it's all messed up here, called The Abomination. Part 5, yeah, it went that far. And this even was better. It had a consistent flow. It was my least favorite of the 5 books that came out about this, but nothing beats the sacrilege of Omen 4 The Awakening. That was horrible. All right, if you've seen this movie and it made you cry like that, how could they make something this bad? Talk to me. Let me know. Comment below. Share with me. And with that, I'm off. This is Ralph Perez from Horror and Coffee. Take care.